Okay, so let's start with the eye socket. Now, again, we want to be sort of aware of the shape of our head. So for example, this vertex here is the jaw. And so we always want to keep these things in mind, that this is the lower palate here. Oop, looks like our duplicate special isn't set up right, so I'm going to go ahead and delete that other side. Edit, duplicate special. Make sure that we're on instance and we are at -1. There we go. So like I said before, we want to make sure that we're always looking at this as the lower palate, this is the front of the face, and this is the neck. And and that also goes for the structure of the face. So we want to make sure that we give the nose its own region, and we give the eye its own region. So let's kind of nudge this down just a little bit. And I'm going to go to object mode, shift right click, insert edge loop, and just kind of create a loop right there. And then I'm going to go ahead and hit R. Hit W and move that over. Same thing here, I'm just going to insert another loop just above the eyebrow. Hit R and shape that out. Now in the front view, I'm going to go to vertex mode. I'm going to move this over to the side like this. Move this up here. Move this here. Go to my front view, or side view rather. Again, I'm just sort of moving these elements in place. Moving this forward. Let's pull this up to really distinguish the chin. And I'm pulling these way back. Don't be too concerned with the placement of these just yet. With the placement of these edges here. Just make sure that you're always getting a nice roundness that cups the face. Okay? So I'm going to pull this edge up just a little bit. Because again, this is where our brow is. Then we're going to pull this back. Alright. Now we want to go ahead and extrude in the eye socket. So we're going to select this face, shift right click, extrude face, hit R, scale that in, and bring it down, and put it in position. Like that. And I'm going to grab these verts and sort of just place them in the different areas inside the eye. Now we're not going to delete this yet because we're doing the low-res proxy model, so we can just texture that for now before we decide if this is the final model. And if it is, then we'll go in and create an eyeball. I'm going to go ahead and give this a little bit more shape by inserting another edge loop. So I'm going to go to object mode, shift right click, insert edge loop. And then I'm going to hit R and straighten that edge out. Hit W and bring that down. Go to vertex mode, nudge that over like this. Okay, let's go to our side view. Or actually, before we go to our side view, make sure that this is all right. Go to our side view. Go ahead and pull these verts in a little bit. And I'm going to go ahead and shape out my eye with the reference that's available. So something like this, like that. Again, I'm pulling these verts way into here. See how I'm just kind of following that shape? Being very respectful to the model in this case, or in your case, the concept art. So again, I'm just following the structure of the face. Okay, if I move those forward, these have to also be pulled forward. Alright, let's go to our front view. What we're going to do at this point is we'll go ahead and start to model out the nose and mouth. So I'm going to go to face mode and just sort of focus on these two faces here. I'm going to shift right click, extrude these in. I'm going to hit R, scale them in like this, position them right where the mouth is. Let's go ahead and grab this stray vert and line it up over here. Now I don't need these three faces here, so I'm going to go ahead and delete those, and I'm going to pull these verts in like this. Alright. Now what I do need though is I need to section off this nose a little bit better. Right now we've got its own defined zone, which is through the center of the head, which is pretty nice. But what I want is I want to shift right click, let's go to object mode, shift right click, go to insert edge loop, and I want to loop just to the top of the nose there, and then one below. Alright, so let's do a better job of smoothing this out by bringing this in. Let's bring this guy in like that. Let's bring this guy way in over here. Now it's important to understand why we added these loops. So the loop that goes just above the nose is going to help us by being sort of the muscle around our laugh line, which is this guy right here. Now this loop here is the dip just below the lips. And then this is the dip in between the tip of our nose and the tip of our lips. So let's go to side view and really accentuate these. So I'm going to pull these forward. I'm going to pull these lips forward as well. And I'm going to do a little bit of shaping from the side view. So something that looks like this. Okay, I'm going to grab this guy, pull it way forward. Again, we have to be very conscious of the way our character looks. Alright, and we want to pull these forward as well to sort of help us to really define that shape. Like that. Alright. And this should be down here. Now, some of you might be tempted to pull this edge all the way up here. That's not what we want to do. We're just sort of looking at creating some nice loops here. Now, something that should be pointed out is to make a character cute, you want a bigger cranium and like bigger eyes, bigger cranium, smaller lower face. So that's why anatomically this might look funny with the eyes being so low. But we really want to accentuate his cranium, and we might even push it even further beyond this concept. We want to make him cuter or younger. So the next thing we want to do is we want to really show where that nose is coming out of. So we're just going to select these two faces here. And at this point, actually we can just select this face and extrude this out. I'm going to hit W and just pull this forward. And now that we know where our nose is coming from, something like this, now we can grab these verts and begin to shape it a little bit better. So something that looks like this. And only after you've done that extrusion should you start to build out the bridge of the nose, which is this area here, and you can pull this out as well. Okay? And now that we know where all of these components are, we can really start to shape the brow. And then we can pull these down. Let's kind of pull this down just a little bit. I'm just going to shift all of these forward. Alright, let's go to perspective view and kind of look at that. Doesn't look terrible. Let's go to our front view and sort of look at how that's coming along. It's not bad. Alright. Let's go ahead and start to define the mouth a little bit better. Let's pull these in. I'm going to go to object mode, shift right click, insert edge loop. And I'm going to go ahead and flatten this out. Go to vertex mode. Start to shape up. Okay, let's take a look. It's not a bad low polygon head. So right now we want to just finish off and give him some nostrils. Let's go to face mode, extrude this out, and then scale these down. And let's go ahead and sort of start to smooth that out a bit. So we're going to bring the tip of his nose in and just creating a nice curve. Something like this. That's looking pretty good. Let's do the same thing in here. Pinch that a little bit better and pull that forward. Alright, same thing in here. We want to kind of create this. Now, let's go ahead and add one more loop to help round out the head a little bit better. And then we'll finish the tutorial off by creating some really low resolution ears. So I'm going to go ahead and just pull that vert, kind of look for nicely averaging out my verts, which is the spacing between two sections of verts. Shape out my eyebrow a little bit better. Get these eyes shaped out a little bit more, make them bigger, a little cuter. Start to space out that mouth now that we've got that extra loop. It's looking good. Alright. Pull this over to the side a little bit more. It's looking good. Alright, I'm going to kind of pull his neck out a little bit more like that. Let's take a look at the overall look here. Alright, so let's do the same for the side now. Double check those verts. Something like this. Let's make sure that we're using this as our hairline. Alright, I'm going to insert 2 loops. So let's go to Object Mode, Shift right click, Insert Edge Loop. And let's make this just above, just to kind of round it out a little bit. And let's add one more just behind his ear. Going this way. And let's use these verts to round off this section here. Now for the ear, all we're going to do is select these 2 faces, extrude those in, go to perspective mode, pull them in a little bit more. I'm going to extrude out one more time, and I'm going to rotate them. And to kind of create that look, I'm just going to go ahead and select these 2 verts here, merge to center, and then hit G to redo last action. And I do that with the 3 front verts. And then I'm going to pull this vert in a little bit and down. Sort of like this. Let's pull these verts back. Here, we'll go to our side view to see that a little bit better. I'm going to pull this one. Now, because I have a triangle on the bottom, I can go ahead and insert a loop going this way. Select this vert and just pull it up to give me the roundness I need. So let's take a look at our head model. Doesn't look bad. And if we want to go ahead and create the those hair pieces, I can just extrude those faces out, scale them this direction. Now I have to be conscious that on the inside that there's a face that was created, so I can go to Edge Mode, select this edge, bring it in. And so here is a really basic, needs some tweaking, low poly head model.